Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, president, founder of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with 7 for unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai. We believe at GST that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities tonight are not. And today it is Simplenight Presents. We're going to dive into the ideas and technologies reshaping our world. Today, we're exploring how one platform is reimagining business travel as we know it. I'm talking about Simplenight, a company turning fragmented, frustrating travel into seamless, hyper-personalized experiences. Whether you're a corporate traveler or a global enterprise, this is an episode you won't want to miss. So with that, I'd like to bring my incredible guest, Eric Pelletier. Eric is a serial entrepreneur, an investor. He's worked for prestigious companies like Bain. He's traveled around the world and is a top consultant looking at AI companies when making a dent in the universe. So with that, I'd like to bring Eric on board. Hi, Eric. How are you today?
Hi, Gary. It's a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you. When we look at Simple Night, on one side, Eric, it's a global distribution discovery platform that's allowing companies and governments to offer hyper personalized, bookable experiences across all kinds of categories. So let's talk about a little bit. So, how does Simple Night differ from other companies that are out there, like Expedia, like Kayak? How does it really differentiate itself?
Well, to me, there are at least two big differences. The first one is that it gives you a much broader perspective on what you want to achieve. So, if you go on, Expedia and all these websites, they're very good, but there are a few issues with them. First is that they're not integrated. They're very focused on what you're asking, but they don't have an understanding of, actually a travel, a business trip is a lot more complicated than just picking a hotel and an airline. Actually, there are many things around it. Um, I think the other difference is that as the system knows you, Simple Night knows you, knows your needs. It can make recommendation, but also it's a lot more transparent in what it offers to you. I always have the fear that when I go on, some of these aggregating websites, there are many things happening that I don't know, and they surely are getting discounts behind my back. They're recommending one airline versus the other because they have a deal. I should be the one deciding on this, and I want a system that supports me in those decisions.
So you look at it, Simple Night's goal is pretty simple, isn't it? And not to be punny, but everything, everywhere, anytime, bookable in real time. And when they started out with this, understanding the pain points in areas like travel and how to create a hyper personalized experience, really it's look at it, all these disconnected platforms that we have out there create efficiencies. You try to book a ticket from Miami to San Francisco. Wouldn't it be nice as it knows you like to fly in Delta, that you like to fly in the first class on the right hand side of the plane, and knows your friend Francois has come from Paris and is in San Francisco and wants to go to Nanking to dinner, which is a fantastic restaurant there. It also knows you like the opera, but it knows you in a way, kind of like your grandmother, right? It knows you and cares about you. And really, when you bridge the gap, creating a really unified API, I mean, think about these one-offs. Like in Napa Valley, there's a place that has like a safari that not a lot of people know about, where you can rent tents and see wild animals. But imagine if you had all those experiences available for you. So, and not just for individualized travelers. Imagine portals for countries where you come into the country. It's kind of like open up your arms and saying, "Come on in. We really care about you. Let's create some experiences together." What do you think in terms of, why is business travel? Why do these countries really? Why are they in a need for transformation right now, Eric?
Okay, the first thing is, when I started traveling for business, you literally could show up at the airport 5 minutes, race to the gate, get in the plane immediately. Um, Obviously, it's become incredibly painful. So the first thing is that the first pain point you have is the travel itself. It's become horrendous. The second thing is organizing, planning has become very difficult because you have all these tools that claim they're helping you, and they do help you, but they help you on minute points. They don't have the integrated perspective. If you think back, over the years, when you were planning a trip, you would have a travel agent, and you referred to, your grandmother knowing you, but your travel agent, probably not your grandmother, knew your taste and knew what you wanted to do. So they would prepare packages for you at a very, at the time, acceptable cost. So the notion of integrating is very important, and that leads to you're a country, you're launching a tourism program. Actually, you want as much as possible to package it in a way that is efficient for the country, but more importantly, efficient for you, the customer. Um, you want to highlight all the possibilities that exist in your country. So the safaris and the nice hotels, the opera nights, all these things in one package because it knows you.
You look at it, post-pandemic companies are more conscious of things like cost, sustainability, and employee well-being. These older systems were really built for, the speed, the flexibility, and personalizations that really people expect today, right? They're tired of not having it personalized, especially with the kind of costs that they incur. So when you take Simple Night and have that interface that allows mobile apps and websites and even in-car dashboards to be able to create that concierge experience, it really helps, all kinds of ways, right? It really saves time, it saves money, reduces friction, travel friction, and create a better experience for the customers, right? It's all about how do we create, it's crazy. You go into Expedia and you book a flight, then you book a hotel. Why wouldn't it know that you like to stay at this hotel that time, book the flight, know you like to leave in the morning, instead of wasting your time trying to figure out, well, I got to book a seat, now, is the seat available or not? Like it should know. You like an aisle or a window. You prefer an aisle, but if a window is available, you'll do that. Um, but it's we've come to the dawn of this hyper personalization and changing everything. Eric, when you look at it today, and you look at the market today, how do you get down through and look at a company like Simple Night? How does it really unique? If you look at the value, what's unique about Simple Night compared to everybody else out there from your perspective?
Okay, if you talk in terms of value, there's one thing that happened very clearly in the travel industries, at least let's take the example of airlines, is that cost went down tremendously. And that's true. But it went down at the expense of customer service, um, meaning that it's become very complicated to do your booking for the reasons you're mentioning, because everything is, you have to go from one silo to the other to the other. Uh, Simple Night, knowing you intimately, actually resolves all that and creates value in this way. So you still have access to very good prices, but it's now integrated in a level of service that you call concierge service that you do not get elsewhere.
Yeah, you're right. And you plug into an existing system, whether it's a booking site or a hotel brand, or corporate travel dashboard, instantly curated bookable contents available. I mean, the content's important. I mean, Simple Night's been a great job of being able to curate content, because if you don't have that, what do you have? And then as you said, the user's preferences, the location, the purpose of the travel, are we going to be using frequent flyer points? Are we going to be using some type of other awards or credit that we have? These kind of things just, and that's about life, right? It's all about taking the AI, the data enrichments, and the interoperability and make it a hyper personalized, pleasurable travel experience for you. Pleasant.
Yes, and I think one thing is very important is the notion of content. You want to have options, but you also want to have things you didn't think about that appear. And for this to appear, it has to be very straightforward from an interface standpoint. And it, suggests, well, you could go to the opera that evening. You have a free evening, and there is a Madame Turandot playing at the opera, so you can go there. But also for the opera in San Francisco, they can get plugged in the system very easily. So to be able to have this really rich experience, you need the interface where it makes it easy for you, the client, but also it makes it easy for the content provider to be connected to your system. And uh, in some ways, Simplenight is like this mega API that connects all these disconnected content options.
And if you look at it, being able to integrate into those systems is critically important. But, if you look at it, can you imagine a system like Simple Night that it's not just about the logistics, right? It's also about safety and integrates the travel risk management tools, all the kind of things that you could integrate into a system like this we've never done before. Imagine there's a disruption caused by a canceled flight. I hate getting those text messages, by the way, that say we're canceled. Then what do we do next, right? Um, how do we go down through, if we look at where businesses travel is headed in the next 3 to 5 years, how governments are going to integrate tools like Simple Night? What do you really see? How Simple Night positioning themselves for the future?
Okay, the way you phrase the questions, I see there are two questions. One is the direction where business travel is heading. So it's getting more and more about cost convenience, has to go immediately on your expense report. Um, you have to um, respect a whole slew of regulations. More and more coming. Your employer wants to know your carbon footprint. It will become important. If you get carbon credits, it needs to happen. So the complexity around business travel is getting more and more intense. Plus, you have all these deals that exist because the Marriott offers you a night if you fly Delta or this. As an individual, it's way too complex to deal with. So you need a system to do that. And so business travel is moving in that direction. The second thing is that's happening is that uh, countries are mega events like the Football World Cup or that will come to the US. Um, they realize they have to offer something integrated. Because if you go to the Philippines on tourism, or if you attend the World Cup, you may spend 2 weeks in the US to attend it. What will you do during these 2 weeks? So if you have a system that helps you based on your preferences, and also a system that's connected to the organization of the World Cup, then it becomes incredibly powerful. So, summary: two things. Business travel will become more and more painful, has to be more and more cost efficient. Second thing is tourism. There is a change of paradigm, and you need to have a very integrated offering when you are a country or an event.
I just wrote down a few thoughts, and if you look at the future, right, it's going to be way, way more integrated, way more intelligent than it is, and it's going to invisible. You're not going to understand that it's behind the scenes doing incredible things. And booking's going to be really proactive. So imagine things like voice interfaces or AI assistants handling itineraries, right, or digital twins. And Simple Night's gone down through and started down that path. And then we talk about hyper personalization, automation, contextual decision making. They're not just building a travel tool, they're building an infrastructure for everything as a service. I mean, that's really where it's going to be. And most companies that are out there don't think about it. Everything's going to be integrated together. It's going to be interesting. At one point in time, you're going to have one portal for everything. And we don't even think of it. Now we just have these, disenfranchised parts that don't really communicate together. But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, um, could Simple Night power the travel concierge of the future, like in a car, a watch, or a chatbot? And if you look at it, what do you think? How far down the line does this go?
It's endless because if you push the logic of Simple Night, actually it's creating a very intimate profile of my likes, right? So it knows me very, very well. Um, the difference with others, some other systems know me very well, unfortunately, like Facebook, for instance. But you know how they make money? They make money out of selling my information. The case of Simple Night, they have all this information, they're gaining information, but this information is used to my benefit. It's to make my life simpler. So obviously you start with traveling, but it will know my shopping preferences. It will know the type of books I like to read, the music I enjoy listening, and all this will progressively create this super hyper personalized profile of me and help you when I interact with all the websites around the world. So this is literally incredible because I have this in my pocket or my PC or my phone, this concierge, and to me it's more than it's more like a butler, the traditional English butler
Hmm.
that knows you very well, good things, bad things, but and you tell James, please do this, and then you have a system that does it, and it's impeccable because the system knows you. So it's imagine the super butler, efficient, with access to this incredible content.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking of the movie Arthur with Dudley Moore and that butler in there and smacking him and say, "Do
Yeah,
this."
yeah.
You can imagine, you're finishing a meeting and your car suggests a nearby restaurant, books a view, updates your calendar, sets up a movie afterwards because you want to see the latest Marvel Universe movie, all powered by Simple Night and all in the background. You would even know it's there. That's where it is. And for these countries that are out there that are trying to attract folks to come, if you deliver a pleasant, easy to use experience, like nobody else has ever done before. You're coming into a country and you want to go to northern Turkey and you want to see Cleopatra's baths that not everybody knows about. It actually books an excursion for you to see it from Khmer, so you can check things out that are just aren't on the map. Right, that's where it is. I mean, how much of the world isn't really covered on that side, whether it's a trip or how many other things, if you're going into a country, aren't known about because you got to be a local to understand it. Those things, that's just fascinating. And people are willing to spend money for it too. And people are willing to save the time, aren't they? It's all about saving time and saving money. For companies listening today, Eric, how did they go down through and understand these types of technologies? They're going to, not just in Simple Night, but these innovative technologies are going to lead the world. How do they get to understand them better? What's the best way for them to do it?
um, it would be to start dreaming and dream of the future, or you can call it visioning. To me it's more like a dream. What would be the cool things, and you realize that most of the cool things are within reach today. And what are the cool things? I want someone that knows me. I want to feel safe. I think protection and safety are going to become more and more important, not just privacy, but almost physical protection. So if I start thinking about the future, whatever business I'm in, I need to think about what is the ultimate experience I can provide my customers. There's nothing new there. It's always been, the topic, ultimate customer experience, except now the boundaries have disappeared. You can really create something that's purely individual and yet benefit from the cost benefits of mass production. So we are at this stage and this is where the world is really changing, where all the benefits of mass production become available in a totally unique package for me. Um, so if you're a business, project yourself without any restriction limits and see where what the ultimate experience would be.
So we're coming up to the top of the show, Eric. Any closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I think you mentioned one thing. A couple of days ago, Heathrow shut down because a transformer went down, and Heathrow was shut down for almost a day. Um, it would be nice to have a system that, when that happens, the first notice, actually all your trip is rescheduled automatically. You don't have to worry about this. And it knows that you will have to transit through Frankfurt or whatever, and everything will be reorganized. Your meetings will be rearranged. So this opportunity is, creating around people, not creating around content, but creating around people. As for joining me, I can be joined at GSD, brilliant company.
Well, thank you very much. I resemble that remark. No, it's great to have you here. We're entering a new era where convenience, context, and personalization aren't luxuries; they're expectations. And companies like Simplenight are here to make sure that wherever you go, whatever you do, everything you need is just one click away, or voice command. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to one more time for Simple Night Presents. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm your host. We hope you got a glimpse of how Simple Nut is revolutionizing travel for governments, for companies. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a fellow traveler, and check out simplenight.com. Until next time, travel smarter, travel better. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And my name is Gary Fowler. I'm your host. I'll be back again soon with another exciting edition. Thank you.